What's up guys, David Moss Jr. here, and in today's video we are going to be doing a full setup and review of the brand new Coldture Pro Plunge Lite. Now they already have the Pro Plunge, which is a beautiful tub, but it's a little bit on the premium side price-wise. Now they've come out with a roto-molded tub. This is one of the first ones to ever be delivered, and we're going to review this entire thing to see if it's something you should consider for yourself or not. Let's jump right in. And hey, after today's video, if you do decide you want to get one of these for yourself, I will have a link with a discount code down in the video description below, so make sure you check that out after the video. So the first thing we're going to talk about is going to be the price. At time of shooting this video, it's currently listed at $54.20, but that comes with white glove delivery, which is incredible. This was delivered in a big, beautiful plywood box, and I get a lot of these products to review, and disposing of the box is always a hassle for me. White glove means they came, they unloaded it from the box, they put it right here for me, and then they discarded of the huge box, which was awesome. So Coldture, thank you so much for including white glove delivery in your price. Now let's talk about what comes with that $54.20 price tag. So first you're gonna get the tub itself. This is a beautiful black roto-molded tub, which means it's extremely durable and extremely lightweight. The guys didn't struggle to carry it back here. It's very lightweight. I believe the entire tub weighs about 180 pounds. Once again, I'm one of the first people to get this, so there's a lot of stats and stuff that aren't actually listed online. So I'm gonna be doing a lot of it myself in this video. As you can see, this side of the tub is where your body and the water is going to go while you're getting cold, and then back underneath the backside here, inside this beautiful little cover that actually pops all the way off if you want it to, is the filter, is the chiller, is the ozone, is all the components, and they're built right in here. And we'll get to that in a second. Of course, you have your power plug. It does require 13 amps to operate, so you are gonna wanna make sure you at least have a dedicated 15 amp line when deciding where to put this. And then inside the tub, inside this silver casing, we're gonna open it up, is an insulated lid. You have a hose that you connect when it comes time to drain, and then you have a filter. And that's it. Very easy. Not a lot to have to do. All you do is you have it set up where you want it, you fill it up with water, and you plug it. They call it plug and play. Let's go ahead and open up this lid real quick, because I have mine outside, which it is rated for indoor and outdoor. A couple things they've decided to do on this tub, which is unique to Coldture, I haven't seen this on many of the others, is it does have an anti-freeze component, and these are rated for temperatures down to 14 degrees Fahrenheit outside. And part of the reason they're able to do that is because they have an insulated tub, an insulated lid, and all the components are actually sheltered out of the element. I love that the lid is black. It just looks really, really beautiful. It folds in 3 ways. That's cool. Oh, that's awesome. It actually grabs underneath the lip so it can hold itself nice and snug onto this cold plunge. Man, this is really unique. A 3-way folding lid with a skirt that goes around the entire cold plunge. So it's gonna do a really good job of keeping dirt, debris, bugs, and the elements out of your cold plunge, which is nice. And that's how it looks with the lid on. These little straps down here are the child safety locks. So if you do have kids running around, or you have a lot of wind in your area and you wanna make sure that the lid stays down, all you have to do is screw that into the side of your cold plunge once you get it. So this is what it looks like with the lid on it. The lid is actually slanted, if you can see that. That keeps the water from pooling on top, and then you can fold it in half and just get in while keeping your lid on if you want to, or obviously you can take the entire thing off if you want. Oh, what? Did they do that? Bro, nobody's told me anything. I'm learning new things. One of the things I love about experimenting and reviewing these cold plunges and being one of the first to do most of them is getting to experiment. So I believe I just found, I'm sure they designed it this way, but nobody told me this. This lid, I'm like, why does it fold so weird? Well, that makes a lot of sense. So I'm able to open my lid. This is honestly cool. We'll pull this back up. Let's pretend that it's full of water and I'm about to cold plunge. This is sick. So the skirt actually has like elastic around the corners, and they have these little lips. So that keeps the lid from blowing off. Honestly, I don't even think you need these straps. But let's say it's time for me to cold plunge. Pull this up, I fold it, and all I have to do is push it. It falls, it stays right there, and my entire tub is exposed. Coldture, this is amazing. Like, one of my biggest pet peeves is a lid that doesn't actually seal the cold plunge, and there's quite a few that I've reviewed that the lids are okay. This, big thumbs up for sure. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and take the lid completely off. It also is nice that it doesn't take up a lot of space. So now let's dive into the tub itself. This is a roto molded tub, which makes it extremely durable and extremely lightweight. Like I mentioned earlier, it weighs 185 pounds before you put water inside. It comes with the insulated cover, and it is rated to temperatures down to 14 degrees inside or obviously outside. And then from what I'm hearing, it is able to hold about 105 gallons of water, though you probably won't need that much water water when you're filling it up. And because I'm a big believer in figuring out where you want to have your cold plunge before you actually purchase one, let's go ahead and measure and see how big this one actually is. We know it's gonna be pretty lightweight, but let's go ahead and measure it. The entire length is 71.5 inches on the outside. Now you are gonna need some room on this back side here. This is where you're gonna have access to the chiller, the filter, the pump, all of the things you might need access to. This is also where your power button is gonna be, and your power cord is gonna come off of the back left side, which is okay. I wish it was on the right side, on more of the back side, but it is what it is. It's a power cord. You're gonna have one of those. And then you have your Coldture nameplate on this side as well. So I'm assuming this is really the front side. What I love about it is there's so many lines and they're not asymmetrical. It's slanted on this side. It's flat on this side. The inside has got so many different lines. You've got footwells in there so your feet can plant in there. It's really, really cool. And we're gonna get to that in a second. So back to the measurements. Like I said, 71.5 inches long. As far as width goes, we're looking at 29 inches wide. Cool thing is, there's nothing on that side. There's really nothing on this side and nothing on this side. So it's a cold plunge that you could put into a corner if you wanted to. And then as far as height goes off the ground, we're looking at right at 30 inches before the lid, which is, I would say, about 4 inches. Not that the height really matters too much. You got a 30-inch step up and step into the cold plunge. That's the outside measurements. Now let's take a look at the inside measurements where you're gonna actually be. So like I was mentioning earlier, like if you look at all of the cuts and the lines, they're all different, which is really interesting. Like I've never seen a tub like this. I'm excited to see how it feels on the inside when you get inside it, but let's go ahead and measure it. As far as the outside rim goes, this is the widest point. We're looking at 27 inches. Down here where your actual butt goes, it's slanted, so it's not entirely easy. We're looking at about 22 to 23 inches wide at the bottom, which is pretty wide. Length at the top, the tippy top opening, we're right at 45.5 inches, but from the footwell all the way to the back, we're looking at about 41 inches at the bottom, which once again, the bottom is gonna be the smallest space. Up top is where your shoulders are and everything like that. Now let's look at the depth. From where your butt's gonna be to the top is 25 inches. So that's the inside measurements. Before I fill it up with water, I wanna go ahead and give this a dry run. So I'm gonna get in it without there being any water and just kind of see how it feels. Super comfortable. I really like the roto mold. Seems like there's some more options coming out with the roto mold, which it's nice because it gives you a little texture. You have some grip to grab onto. The floor is not slippery. You do have a couple like spots that are like footwells in there. I don't really know how used they're gonna be, because once again, I'm 6'1". If you've seen my reviews before, I like to share how big I am so you can kind of determine how big this is gonna be. I'm 6'1", 210 pounds, give or take, and I can say this is a very comfortable cold plunge. Now, there was a little sticker right above this filter that said water line, so the water line is gonna be right above that, which is a good indicator of where you wanna have your water. Actually, it's about where this line here was, so it's kind of cool. It gives you a built-in water line. There is a light inside, which you don't see on really any of the roto molds that are affordable anyway. And then you have 2 inlets and 2 outlets down here, so you're gonna get a lot of water moving in this cold plunge, which is nice. I could say that from just sitting inside this thing, it will be a very comfortable cold plunge. I like that it's not massive, it's not super heavy, but it seems like it's gonna have a lot of room. Oh, you know what you could do is like fold your legs in here, and then getting under the water line is gonna be really, really easy. Once again, I'm 6'1", and I can get down in here. And I want to say something. A lot of people feel like buying a cold plunge, you have to be able to like fully get underwater. You really don't. Most people who own cold plunges actually cold plunge with their arms out. Totally fine. You do what feels best for you at your stage of cold plunging. But if you really want to know the sign of a good cold plunge, is you need to be able to get your collarbone underwater and be able to comfortably sit in there for 2.5 to 3 minutes, just like this. You want it to be comfortable. You want to stay somewhat active. You don't want to like relax. You're not going to be taking a nap in there, so you don't necessarily need to be completely sprawled out. I feel like a lot of cold plunges are developing a style like this where your knees are kind of bent, you are somewhat in an active pose. You're not completely lounged out and relaxed. I don't know if there's any research on it or not, but a lot of people are saying that the experience of being in an active pose versus being in a relaxed pose is just, obviously everybody has their own, opinion on that. I say if you're getting in cold water and you're trying to better your health, thumbs up. Speaking of getting in cold water, why don't we go ahead and set this thing up now? All right, so before we fill it up with water, this is on just a little like push magnet, really premium. So the vent thing is actually here on pins, but the entire chiller is also on like a drawer. You can't really pull it out though unless you take this off, but it's on these easy push pins that come right out. Like super easy. Set that off to the side for a sec. And then the entire, like everything just pulls on out. So you have access to everything. You have access to your light. Yeah, it does look like that Coldture sign. It has a light in it, which is really cool. Ozone is built right in here. You've got your filter. This cold plunge can get down to 37 degrees, but it can also heat up to 105 degrees. This is the first time I've ever seen the components built onto like a drawer, so you can pull it out and literally look at everything. Really, really cool. It's cool. All the tubes are insulated as well. That's going to keep condensation from hitting the ground inside here. You can see the foam. You can see the insulation inside this tub. Coldture, this is honestly very, very impressive. For the money, like you don't even see this on the $10,000 and $15,000 cold plunges. About time for everybody to step up. So now we're gonna go ahead and fill it up with water. All right, so now it's time to fill it up. And one of the things I always recommend when you're filling up your cold plunge or hot tub or really anything with water is use one of these little water filters. It just helps make sure that the water going into your body of water, your cold plunge, is filtered and clean. It's less work for the filter and everything to have to work through. And it just helps keep your water a lot cleaner. I actually have kits to make it super easy down in the video description. If you go down there, you'll see cold plunges. I have an entire list of different links, one of which will say cleaning kit, and it'll have this in there, a bunch of cheap options for your cold plunge to help keep your water clean, which makes it more enjoyable and a little bit easier to maintain. So we're gonna go ahead and fill this bad boy up. And while this is filling up, let's talk about some of the specific features of this cold plunge. So while this is filling up, I wanna give you a section that you can refer back to that's gonna be just rapid fire, the information that I think is important to know when it comes to considering a cold plunge. So once again, this is the Coldture Pro Plunge Lite. It's currently listed at $54.20 with white glove delivery, and obviously you can use discount code MAUS, that's MAUS, and it'll save you an exclusive discount that you can only get because you watched this video. And to make it simple, that link is down in the description below. I also have it pop up on screen for my friends at home watching on television. The entire shell of this cold plunge is roto molded, making it extremely durable and extremely lightweight. It is rated for indoors and outdoor use down to 14 degrees Fahrenheit, meaning if you live somewhere where it gets really, really cold, as long as it doesn't break 14 degrees for too long of a period of time, this is a really good option for you. The reason it's able to do that is the components are covered by an insulated shell and a vent, and they have anti-freeze smart technologies. The chiller is a smart chiller, and it's not only a chiller, it can chill the water down to 37 degrees Fahrenheit, but it can also heat the water up to 105 degrees Fahrenheit. This cold plunge does have ozone and filtration already pre-built in, which will make maintenance a breeze. It's one of the few cold plunges that is plug and play. They literally dropped it off right here, took the boxes from me. All I have to do now is fill it up with water, and once it's past that water line, I just have to plug it in. Now this will use up to 13 amps when everything is firing, so make sure you have it on a dedicated 15 amp line, which most households are already equipped with. We haven't turned it on yet, but is apparently whisper quiet, and when it does come time to drain and clean your water out, or just to move it, it does have an easy attach hose, which makes draining the water out of this cold plunge super simple. Not that everybody cares, but it does come with a 1-year warranty. This is UL and CSA certified, and apparently Canadian certified, which is a new thing I didn't know about. All right, that's most of the statistics. Now I'm gonna let this thing fill up with water. Once it reaches that water line, we're gonna fire this baby up, get that water nice and cold, and test this out. And hey, if you haven't done so by now, please like this video, comment something nice and friendly, or just ask a question. And if you haven't, subscribe to the channel. I'm on a mission to getting all this information out to everybody around the world to help people just like you make the best decision on which wellness products and health and fitness products are gonna be best for them. I'm not exclusive to any of the brands you've ever seen me review. And because of your loyalty and viewership, there's actually a line of companies that are trying to get their products to me so that I can review them as well. And the only way I'm able to keep doing that is by you watching my videos, liking these videos, and sharing them with your friends. It doesn't cost you a penny to like and subscribe, and it means the absolute world to me. So thank you to everyone who watches and subscribes to my channel. And hey, I get it, not everybody has a Gmail or a YouTube account, so you may not even be able to engage on YouTube. So if you can't engage on YouTube, you can always head over to Instagram and be my friend there. I also have a free newsletter, it's down in the video description, as well as a playbook where I teach other creators how to make a full-time career out of content on YouTube and Instagram. If any of that interests you, links will be down in the description below. All right, that didn't take much time, but the water is above the fill line, which you wanna make sure all of basically the inlets and the filters inside are filled with water, because that's where some of the water is gonna be pulled into the pump. And you don't want any air going into the pump. That could burn a pump out, could cause some damage, and we don't wanna do that. So we've got it filled up. Now let's turn it on. All right, let's plug it in. All right, we got power. I don't know what to do next, so things are happening inside here already. I can hear things happening. I'm gonna take this off real quick. So the founder told me one thing I might have to do is bleed the pump a little bit, which is where you let some of the air out. Yep, oh yeah, boom. Already freaking on, let's go. So you just gotta bleed the pump a little bit, which is where you just unscrew the top part of this filter, and that just lets all the air out, which is normal for pretty much any body of water. And that's actually the #1 reason people have negative experiences with cold plunges, is they don't know that. But we're on, baby. Let's go. I wonder if this is to the light. Oh yeah, light is on. That's the light button right there, not the power button. Power's on. So we are on. Water is moving, ozone is flowing. Now you see these bubbles coming out? A lot of people think that's just air in the pipe. It's actually not. That's ozone. So moving ozone through the line continuously, that's gonna help purify my water, keep it clean longer, which is amazing. Quick tutorial on how to bleed this. So if you turn it on and you hear, like, you can hear bubbles, you literally just open this up, you just twist it, you'll hear water come out, air come out, I mean, and then it'll work, and then you tighten it back up, and then you're good. That's easy. This button outside I thought was the power button. I don't know why I thought that. It is the light button. So the light just turns on here, hard to see right now, and that turns the light on inside, which you can see on. So we've got everything running, everything's operational, there's no leaks, which is beautiful. Now let's talk about how to actually operate it from the actual cold plunge itself. So popping down here, pretty simple. This has a cover to protect it from the elements. You open this up, this is your control panel. It will usually be locked. How you lock it is you're gonna hold the power button down for a few seconds. You'll see a little lock icon. It will come off of there, meaning it's unlocked. You literally just use the arrows to set the temperature. From the factory, I believe it comes preset to its coldest temperature. Mine was preset to 37. I upped it to about 42 degrees, I think. That's what I set it to. And it tells me the temperature that it is currently at right here as well. So if you're ever curious, there's no thermometers or anything exposed, which is actually kind of nice. But if you ever want to make sure that the temperature is correct or just verify what it is, you can come and look at this and it'll tell you the exact temperature right there. I'm not showing you close-ups because it's such a faint LCD screen, like contrast, that I can barely see it. It's super bright out here right now. I'm sure at night it's a little bit brighter, so maybe tonight I'll come over and take a look at it and film that. I'll just throw that in there. To my editors, let's I'm gonna throw some B-roll of this at night, so we'll just pop that in there. And then there's also a couple other modes. You can set it on auto, set it on cold, set it on heat. It'll pretty much do it. If you just keep it on auto, wherever you set your temperature, it will make sure that it's there. I am one of the first people to actually have this cold plunge, so I'm experimenting with a lot of this stuff. So make sure you subscribe if you're interested in more information, or if you have a question that I haven't been able to go over in this video, pop it in the comments below so I can do the research, find out the answer, and I'll make sure that you know. So I've got it set. We're gonna close that. There is a power button on the back side here. That is to just turn the entire system on and off while it's still plugged in, or you can just unplug it. And then, like I mentioned, the power button over here is for the lights only, which is cool, so you don't have to open all this stuff up. So I got it all running. I'm gonna push that back in there. I'm gonna go ahead and push these pins in. Sorry if it's super loud. I got the fan blowing right on my microphone, but it is very quiet. It's fully on right now. And once I shut this, I mean, it's really, really quiet. I have my microphone right on the fan, and the fan is blowing air right here at my microphone. Super quiet. The second that I move from that, you can't even hear it. And now, the fun part. Let's get in this thing. All right, so this is the first test run. You're just gonna get in. So you literally just will step on in. It does have a 1 horsepower chiller. I could not find the information online. I just talked to the founder, got a little bit more information. So this is very similar to their Pro Plunge. A lot of the components are the same. This one actually will not connect to the app. I think I might've mentioned that a few times in the video, that this one will connect to an app. This one will actually not connect to an app. What they did was they wanted to simplify this as much as possible to make it as user-friendly as possible. So when it comes to setting your temperature, you will literally use that touch panel, which is extremely simple to do. All right, so now we're in here. Now let's talk about it. Extremely comfortable, extremely wide. I get in a lot of different cold plunges, so my first impressions are always, is it easy to get in? Is it easy to get out? Can I get fully underwater? Can I spread my wings and get water underneath my armpits, behind the backs of my legs? You see a lot of cold plunges are a little tighter, so when you have your legs crossed or you have your legs tight, you create hot pockets behind your legs, and that's like a spot where I would want cold water to help me heal from potential knee injuries and really prep for really good workouts. I personally love cold plunging before a workout. That's actually what I'm gonna do today. So when I cold plunge before a workout, I want every part of my body, especially those hot pockets, like my armpits, inside my legs, in my where my private parts are, and on the back side of my knees. That's where I really wanna make sure cold water is hitting. I also wanna make sure cold water is hitting the back of my neck. And I absolutely love the layout of this cold plunge, I am able to have everything touching water, and the back of my neck and my collarbone are completely underwater. I do love that there's a light. This will probably be even cooler at night with that light shining. Not a lot of cold plunges have lights. Most of them actually don't. So having a light inside of this black rotomolded tub will be a really cool look at night. I love that the jet over here has ozone bubbling out, so I'm constantly getting ozone in the water. There's a ton of people talking about ozone in the water, Gary Brecka being one of them, talking about having ozone in water while you're actually using it. I know there's been some, like, even myself, I've made videos in the past where it's like, make sure ozone's not running while you're in the water because of the risks and stuff, and we're finding now that there's actually some potential benefits to having ozone running in your water while you're in it. So that's cool that it does have it running. This is one of the many cold plunges on the market now that does have ozone built in, which I highly recommend ozone. So let's talk about the feel. There's no jets on my backside here, which is nice. It's really comfortable. I can lean back, I can set my neck down, and I can just really get comfortable while my legs are still in an active pose. If I want to engage and be more active, I can. I can even bring my knees up if I want to. I can cross them if I want to. You can do however you want to do it. There are those little ankle spots. I really don't see how practical those are. I think they're more just kind of for look, unless you're shorter. Maybe my wife, she's 5 foot even. Maybe she can use those, but for me, I just put my leg right back there on the backside. A couple things to note where the actual inlets are. There is a pre-filter which will keep debris, fingers, all that stuff from going in through the pipes. So there is one at the top and there is also one at the bottom. So if any debris, sand, stuff that might sink to the bottom, there's two areas where the water will go into the pump, the filter, and all that stuff. Then there's this one jet over here off the wall. This is actually the only jet where water and ozone are going to come out. I thought there was two because the bottom one, but turns out the bottom is actually just the drain. So right now it's just there. When I do need to drain this, if and when that time comes, the cool thing is it's at the very bottom, so all of the water in the tub can easily drain out. My overall experience is it is extremely comfortable. Now let's test and make sure I, a 6'1", 210-pound man, can get fully submerged if I want to do that. Well, not only can I get submerged, it's extremely easy to stay submerged. So now let's talk about some final thoughts of this cold plunge. For the money, $5,420, give or take, I would say this is one I would consider. It's a luxury looking cold plunge. It has a very similar look, feel, vibe, and function of the $10,000 to $15,000 cold tubs. Don't want to say the names, but there are some out there that are really expensive that have a similar look. Only difference is maybe they have some wood on top instead of just being rotomolded. Obviously do your own research and make the best decision for yourself. I don't see a need for that, and it is something else that needs to just be treated. I love that it has ozone and a micron filtration system. Micron meaning it's going to let water pass through, but it's going to clean out the things that you don't want in your water. The ozone will help purify the water, keep that water nice and sterile, so it should stay cleaner for a longer period of time. Personally, I just use hydrogen peroxide in my water if I am going to put anything in it, but when a cold plunge like this has really good continuous ozone, I don't think you'll need to use any chemicals at all. I like that the sides are rounded. There's no sharp edges anywhere on this tub. I like that there is two lips on both sides, so if you do need to move it, it gives you a nice leverage point to carry this thing. It also holds down the lid, keeping debris, bugs, frogs, and certain things out of the cold plunge water, which is nice. I like that I'm a larger person and I can easily and comfortably get my neck under the water. I like the different cuts and the different look. This is a completely unique look, and I really like that there is a light inside this cold plunge. I know that seems silly and probably impractical if you're going to cold plunge during the day, but if you're a cold plunger early in the morning or you like to do a nighttime plunge, having a light is really cool. And I also like that it's accessible from the outside, so you don't have to open up that vent just to turn on your light. I'm a fan, and I want to say thank you so much to Coldture for sending this to me so I have the opportunity firsthand to test it out, to experiment with it, to review it, and to check it out. If you decide you want to get one of these for yourself, like I said, there will be a link and discount code down in the description below. Coldture also has a Pro Plunge, which is a little more premium and a little more expensive than this one. They also have some great entry-level cold plunges that are inflatable, that are portable, and that are extremely affordable. So if you want to just tiptoe into cold plunging and you don't want the chiller setup and all that stuff, which seems to be the most expensive part, then you can start with an inflatable cold plunge and use just some ice. The link I have in the description will just take you to their website so you can shop around and look at all the different products that they have, including their newly launched sauna line, and my discount code MAUS, M-A-U-S, can be used on all of their products. Man, it's actually really like refreshing in here. Well, that's my opinion. I want to know what your opinion of this is, so let me know in the comments below what your thoughts of this new cold plunge are. If you like the style, if you like the material that they're using, if you like the functionality and the ease of maintenance. Those those are some things that definitely hit my hot buttons, but I'm curious what your hot buttons are. And if there's something that you've thought of that nobody else has thought of, post it in the comments below and let me do some research. There's so many different options on the market today, and I want to make sure that I'm putting all of the best content out there on my YouTube channel so you can make the best decision for yourself. So let me know in the comments below. I want you to know that I really appreciate you for subscribing to the channel. I love it when you like this video. It lets me know that I'm putting out good content. And more importantly, I just want you to know that I appreciate you. I'll see you guys in the next video. I hope you have a great day, my friends, and God bless. And speaking of next video, why don't you click on one of these two videos next? I'm pretty sure you'll like one of them. YouTube thinks you'll like one of them, and you never know. So just try them.